Hello guys, welcome back. I hope you watched the previous video. In this video, let us see in depth about RDS. So I hope you watched the previous video and you have a knowledge of why do we move for storing this database to cloud and what is the AWS providing database service, that is RDS, and RDS is a database. It's not a RDS is a database service. RDS is not a database. RDS is a database service. It's not a database. Where I think you also know what are the database engines that this RDS provides. And I think you also remember the shortcut of how do you remember this engines which are provided by RDS. Okay. Based on your expected load and performance, this RDS even allows you to select database instance for compute instance to process your memory. So what do we create from this RDS database? We create RDS DB instances. Same like in EC2, we create EC2 instances. Those we use for servers. Now we are using those similar servers for using for databases. This RDS is a service where it provides you RDS DB instances. So in order to process your memory, which you are storing in these instances, that is nothing but your database is nothing but your memory here. So in order to process that memory, do you need to provide some compute instance type? Yes, you need to provide compute instance type. So even this RDS allows you to provide that. And one more thing, in order to store your database, you need to have some memory, right? Yes, of course, we must need to have some memory. This RDS even allows you to choose that memory. So while creating your RDS DB instances, you need to select RDS instance type. What does it indicate? Whatever the instance type that you want to use to run your instance, that is RDS DB instance. And in order to specify the storage, you have an option called storage. Now let's discuss about this RDS instance type. Let's say I want to process my memory when where that memory contains a large data sets, where that memory contains large data sets. Now, does this RDS does this RDS service provides me a suitable instance type for my needs? Yes, this RDS provides you a suitable instance type for your need. For that, for this scenario, if you want to run large data sets, in this case, you need to use memory optimized instance. So actually, there are two types of instances are there, which comes under this RDS instance type. They are general purpose and memory optimized. You can see this RDS instance type is categorized into how many ways? Two ways. General purpose instance type and memory optimized instance type. Now, let's see about when do we use, for which purpose we use this general purpose instance type. You need to use this general purpose instance type when you want data set, you want database for moderate size data sets. You want to use your database for moderate, moderate size data set. For moderate size data sets, this general purpose instance is sufficient. So in other words, you can also say for general purpose workloads, for general purpose workloads, you can use this general purpose type instance. General purpose instance type you can use for these two cases. For moderate workloads, for low workloads, low size workloads, and moderate size workloads, you can use this general purpose instance type. For general purpose workloads, you can use this general purpose workloads. Now let's see, when do we use this memory optimized instance type? We use this for large data sets. When for large data sets, so if you want your database for large data sets, then what is better option for you? Memory optimized instance type. Let's say you want memory intensive workloads. You want a database for memory intensive workloads. You want an instance type, RDS instance type for memory intensive workloads. Then you choose this memory optimized instance type. Okay. So these are the, so based on your data set size, these are classified into RDS instance types are classified into general purpose and memory optimized. If you want to process less or moderate size of data sets, then this general purpose instance type is sufficient for you. Where if you have large data set, if you want to process that, then this memory optimized instance type is best preference for you. For general purpose workloads, you choose this general purpose instance type. For memory intensive workloads, use this memory optimized instance type. This general purpose instance type is again categorized into two types. That is standard instance type and burstable instance type. So let's see the more frequently or most commonly used instance type families for in RDS engines. We have seen multiple engines, right? So for these engines, let's see most commonly used instance types. So under standard instance type, let's see an example of M5, and under burstable instance type, let's say an example of T3, and under memory optimized instance types, we have R5, X1 and Z1. Let's see for which engine, which instance type supports me. If we see about Oracle, this Oracle supports overall instance types, that is general purpose instance type and all memory optimized instance types also. This Oracle supports for us. If you see MS SQL, it supports only one instance type, that is M5. Under standard instance type only, MS SQL providing us. So if we want to use MS SQL, then we need to select standard instance type, that is M5. Let's see let's see MySQL. This MySQL supports standard instance type as well as one memory optimized instance type, what R5 and M5. So now coming to Aurora, this Aurora also supports only two instance types, that is standard instance type, that is M5, and memory optimized instance type, that is R5. Now let's see the remaining two, that is Postgres and MariaDB. This Postgres and MariaDB supports these three instance types. That is, under general purpose instance type, this Postgres and MariaDB supports three instance type. That is standard instance type, burstable instance type, and memory optimized instance type also. These three instance types are supported by Postgres and MariaDB. So I hope you understood that by choosing what engine, by choosing what engine, which instance types are available to me. So by choosing what engine, what what type of instance types that I can able to select to run and process my memory which I stored in my database. Sir, what are these M5, T3, R5, X1 and Z1? These are nothing but instance type families where in each instance type there is some size where it can hold based on the size. Each instance type can hold certain virtual CPUs and certain memory in GBs. Let's take an example of T3 family and let's analyze. Let's take T3 family and let's analyze which instance type has how many CPUs, how many virtual CPUs, and how much memory does they hold. So let's see the smallest size of your T3 instance type is T3 dot nano, where it holds you two virtual CPUs and it holds you a memory of 0.5 GIB. Now, what is the next largest T3 instance type, sir? That is micro, T3 dot micro. So it also holds same two virtual CPUs, and here the memory is increased. That is twice than the previous one. For this only it is valid. For other cases may it not be valid. So what is the next instance type that comes under this T3, sir? That is small. The small has large memory compared to micro. Virtual CPUs are two only, but coming to memory, it holds a memory of 2 GBs. Now, what is the next largest one? So after T3 small, we have T3 medium. So it also holds you two CPUs and a memory of 4 gigabyte GIBs. And next member of this which comes under this family is T3 dot large. So it also holds two virtual CPUs and a memory of 8 GIBs. After this large, we have extra large, T3 dot X large, and this contains two virtual CPUs and 16 GIBs of memory. After this, a final storage that is 2 times extra large, 2x. It also contains two virtual CPUs and 32 GIBs of memory. So like this, if you take any family that contains nano, micro, small, medium, large, extra large, double extra large instance types. So based on your need, you need to select a suitable instance type for your need, for your database instance type. Because based on your preference, these instance type will charge you. Whenever you are running your compute service, these instance types will charge you hourly based. So must and shouldly watch the rates before in your region. Must and shouldly watch the rates before you choosing any one of the instance type. So based on your instance type, your virtual CPUs and memory is assigned to you. So based on that instance type only, your whole data will be processed. So based on your requirement, choose the appropriate one. So let's see. I hope you understood this RDS instance types and when do we use what, which engine support what type of instance types. Now let's see about storage. Let's see about what is the storage that we use for RDS database instances. So here again storage is divided into two parts. That is one for Aurora and other for all instance types except Aurora. For data storage and log storage for all the instance type except Aurora uses EBS as a storage. Whereas this Aurora uses a shared cluster architecture. So it's totally separate. Whereas this all the other database instance except Aurora are separate. They uses what EBS for storage, whereas Aurora uses shared cluster architecture. So since Aurora is a database which is developed by whom? AWS. So AWS provided a shared cluster architecture separately for it. So whenever you are storing your data on EBS, then it charge you for the storage that you stored on EBS. So for shared cluster, it charge you for the storage. Whereas in sometimes under EBS also, they charge you for total number of IOPS. That is total number of inputs and outputs of requests that you are processing. Based on that also under EBS, a charge will be mounted on you. Again, based on your requirements, this EBS that you are storing your instance types storage except Aurora, this EBS is again classified into three types. They are general purpose, provisioned, IOPS, and magnetic storage. When do we use this general purpose SSD, sir? We use this general purpose SSD when we require a single digit latency. So it provides you single digit latency. So if you are expecting for fast response, then this general purpose SSD will provide you that. And let's say I want to know what is the storage size, what is the SSD storage size that this general purpose fit under. So this general purpose SSD will be good for storages. For minimum storage, you can able to store a minimum storage of 20 GB to 1664 TIB. So in this general purpose, you can use a minimum of 20 GB to maximum of 64 TIB storage. So this is good for those types of storages where you can use a storage which is in between 20 GB to 64 TB. And one more exception is there only for SQL server. You can say MS SQL or SQL server. For that, the maximum size will be less than or equals to 16 TIB. So maximum size will be 16 TIB. The storage size must be less than 16 TIB for what? For SQL server in this general purpose. These are the limits for your storage in general purpose. So now Let's see with provision. So what does this, when do we use this provision diopter? What is the storage size limit? For this also there is a storage size limit. You can use this for when your SSD storage is in between 100 to 64 TIB, 100 GIB to 64 TIB. And here also it provides for SQL server, for only SQL server, you can able to store maximum size of 16 TIB. And what is the advantage for this compared to general purpose? Here, here you can able to provide max number of IOPS. Max number of IOPS. You can able to provide max number of IOPS. That is 8,000 till 8,000 to, you can able to provide 8,000 to 80,000. 8,000 to 80,000 IOPS you can able to request. Input outputs per second you can able to provide by using this provisioned IOPS. So compared to general purpose, when do you use this? You use this when you require high IOPS, high amount of input outputs per second. So here also there will be a limitation for only for SQL, only for SQL server. You can able to provide less than or equals to 40,000 only. Only for SQL server, it supports up to 40,000 IOPS only. Here you can able to choose your IOPS as well. So this is the advantage. When do you choose this provisioned IOPS? Whenever you require high input outputs per second from your storage memory, then you choose this provisioned IOPS. For general case scenario, you choose general purpose only because it provides you a single latency. Now, when do I use this magnetic storage, sir? You use this for backward compatibility. For backward compatibility. That is, you can use this magnetic storage when you want to restore or backup. In those scenarios you use it. Okay, in this video we have discussed about RDS supporting instance types and storage. So I hope you understood this video and you understood what are the different instance types and what is the storage type to use for what type of engine, and what are the different use cases, in which scenario you need to use which storage or which instance type. So I hope you understood this video and you understood all about RDS instance types and storage, RDS database instances, RDS instance type and storage you understood from this video. So if you feel this video is contentful, then please like, share, subscribe and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. See you back in the next video. Until then, bye bye guys.